London, Reuters, a deepening political crisis in Italy provoked a second day of heavy selling on European financial markets, with the euro cut to a 6-month low, stocks punished and short-term borrowing costs surging for the government in Rome. Investors fear that repeat elections, which now seem inevitable in the Eurozone, a euro trademark's third-largest economy, may become a de facto referendum on Italian membership of the currency bloc and the country's euro trademark's role in the European Union. Short-dated Italian bond yields a euro, one of the most sensitive gauges of political risk. A euro soared as much as 80 basis points it2 YT equals RR to their highest since late 2013 as investors saw euro trademark anxiety deepened. GBD/EUR. The euro dropped below the $1.16 line. EUR equals EBS for the first time in 6.5 months, down 0.3% on the day. Against the Swiss franc, it fell by a similar margin at 1.1528 francs. /FRX. Stocks in Milan slid 2.6% on the main index. FMIB after a 2.1% fall on Monday. Bank shares. FTIT 8300 slumped another 5%, having lost 4% in the previous session, bruised by the sell-off in government bonds, a core part of Italian banks' portfolios. It is just a slide, and as the slide continues, you ask where is the end, said Saxo Bank's head of FX strategy John Hardy. He added that there was a risk of global contagion, with the benchmark US S&P 500 stocks index. SPX also close to breaching some key support levels. N. Hardy recalled a promise made in 2012 by European Central Bank President Mario Draghi to keep the euro intact. A euro, or if this continues for another couple of sessions, I think you will have to see some official, European, response. A euro, whatever it takes, a euro trademark kind of moment. A euro, he said. Adding to the uncertainty, Spanish Prime Minister Mariano Rajoy will face a vote of confidence in his leadership on Friday. Spain's bond yield spread with Germany was also at its widest in 7 months at 122 bps ES 10 YT equals RR. Madrid's IBEX Bourse. IBEX was down almost 2%. EU. Asia flinched too. Japan's Nikkei. N225 slipped 0.6%. Chinese shares were in the red, too, with the blue chip index. CSI 300 down 0.6% and Hong Kong's Hang Seng index. Xi off 0.7%. T.SS. E-mini futures for the S&P 500 ESC1 also gave up early gains to be down 0.5%. Meanwhile, the dollar was up against almost all major currencies except the safe haven Japanese yen. The US currency is heading for its best month in 1.5 years. DXY, a move that is hurting many emerging market countries that borrow in dollars. A euro, or ETHs should keep the risk trades pressured to the downside. A euro. Nick Twiddle, Sydney-based analyst at Rocket & Securities Australia. Away from Europe, the focus was also on the on-again, off-again U.S. North Korean summit and the U.S. China trade relationship. An aide to North Korean leader Kim Jong-un arrived in Singapore on Monday night, Japanese public broadcaster NHK reported, and the White House said a Euro team was traveling to the city to meet the North Koreans. The reports indicate that planning for the summit, initially scheduled for June 12, is moving ahead after President Donald Trump called it off last week. A day later, Trump said he had reconsidered, and officials from both countries were meeting to work out details. Play it safe. In another sign that investors were flocking to safer bets, the euro hit a 11-month low versus the yen and fresh 6.5 low against the Swiss franc. EURCHF equals EBS. Elsewhere in bonds, US 10-year Treasury yields. US 10 YT equals RR were at 6-week lows at 2.883% after a US holiday on Monday. Yields move inversely to price. Analysts are awaiting US inflation data later in the week, which could provide clues to future interest rate rises ahead of the Federal Reserve policy meeting next month. Oil prices remained under pressure from expectations that Saudi Arabia and Russia would pump more crude, even as US oil output rises. O/R U.S. crude futures CLC1 tumbled to 6-week lows and look set for a fifth straight day of declines. The July contract was last down 1.6% at $66.81 a barrel. Brent crude futures LCOC1 edged up 0.3% after dropping to $74.49 per barrel on Monday, their lowest in about 3 weeks. They were last at $75.53. Spot gold XAU was barely changed at $1,298.01 an ounce.